right.
4, 3, 2, and we're live.
All right. Shane, ask your question again now that the camera's rolling.
So, Will, we've been buddies a long time, but I still don't know exactly what part of North Carolina that you're from, so tell us.
So, I'm near the Blue Ridge Mountains, basically Asheville, North Carolina, and I've lived there my whole life, basically.
Sweet.
Yep.
Fantastic.
It's a wonderful place, wonderful place.
Yeah, I'll say. Been there a couple times, and it's, North Carolina's a pretty state.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Awkward silence. So, we have on Will,
Take it
Shane.
away.
Shane's back from episode
No way you know this.
10, Rise of Skywalker review. Yes, I do.
Are you sure?
I edit all this crap. I know. Will, making his first appearance, episode 16. Welcome.
Appreciate it, man. I'm glad to be here.
This is Wilson Reimer, best buddy from college, as part of the Swole Patrol. I think it's the first time we've ever name dropped
I think
that.
so.
The Swole Patrol is essentially me, DJ, and Will here, half of us. Shane was like an adopted clan leader of the. Okay, maybe I shouldn't use. Maybe I shouldn't use that terminology. The Swole Patrol was us three plus Edgar, Jeffy, and Craig. We basically just kind of came up with the name when we started going to the gym together. We, half of us like lived together and the, townhouses and everything on the soccer team, so on and so forth.
Gift from God, we're still alive.
Yes, but that's okay.
Does Craig make an appearance on any of our videos? Like any of our past videos?
I don't think so.
I think he's the only person left to not be in any of our videos. Because we just put Ed and Jeff in our last one. And now we have Will.
That's true. Craig was never in a video along
I don't
with
think
us.
so.
Sounds like he's being...
Let's just go show to his house one day and, hey, Craig, open up.
Yeah,
We're doing a video.
want some screen time, bud?
Your time has come.
He's like, get off my property.
Get off my lawn. I mean, me and Will told him earlier how he's like the grumpy grandpa of the group. He's like that guy.
We know he's not listening, so it's okay.
No. It's okay, exactly. All he wants to do is root on Penn State, the Jets, and talk about...
Don't forget the Tar Heels.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't forget the Tar Heels.
Sorry, the last place in basketball. So
Shut up. Hey,
Oh.
NCAA tournament ain't happening, so it doesn't even matter.
Technically, none of
Womp
that
womp.
matters. It's all canceled.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
get to that. But, like we said, Wilson, best buddy from Emory, the youngest of the Swole Patrol, Gym Bros, traveling crew, whatever you name it. As you know, Shane from episode 10, Rise of Skywalker Review, my younger brother. And he hopped on some trips, hung out with us, partied in college, had a great time.
Oh, yeah.
The actual youngest.
Yes, the actual youngest. But without further ado, Shane already introduced Will, where he's from. So, Will, tell us a little about yourself.
So, I am obviously from Emory College. I am getting my bachelor's degree in health and human performance, and I want to be a strength conditioning coach. I grew that passion my sophomore year of college. Working out with the guys, we always had that bromance sort of in the gym. We were always together no matter what, and then I just kind of got a passion for it as well. Not necessarily wanting to, just go professional with it, working with professional athletes. I just want to go kind of stick with the collegiate level. Definitely have a passion for working with young athletes and bettering themselves. Other than that, yeah, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. Love to hunt. Love kicking it back with the boys. Back in the day in college, we definitely had some good times together.
Big family man for sure.
Oh, yeah, family man for sure. Love to play some Beerio Kart. We'll get into that later. Yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm a very chill, laid-back guy. I like to do anything and everything. It's just one of those things I've always been easy to hang out with, chill with. I just enjoy everything, really. Just laid back.
What did you go to college for? Like, initially, did you have an idea when you went in?
So,
or was it kind of random?
Really, it was soccer that, initiated me wanting to go, pursue, college and everything. I honestly didn't really think about education at the time. I was really just wanting to play soccer. Then, like I said, whenever I met you guys and we started working out together and everything, I just built that passion up for, working out and everything. Just the atmosphere of the gym in general, I just caught on to me, and I just really loved it.
I think that's really common, especially with the D3, because I know I have the exact same thing. I could not care less about what I was going to school for, right?
Yeah.
I was going to school, I knew coming in that I liked athletic training in high school. I took a class or two. I was interested, but really, any school that allowed me to go play soccer, I would find something at that school to do.
Right.
That priority was to go play soccer. which is interesting when, like, if you're going to D3, like, for soccer at least, you're kind of not really going to do a whole lot after that. But your priority is to play, at least to get those last 4 years.
Right.
You know?
The funny thing is, you know, I only played soccer for basically 2 years at Emory, you know.
Why is that?
Well, you know, so after my senior year of high school, I tore my ACL, and, you know, it was just kind of hard to get back in the groove of things. Don't get me wrong, I still love the game and everything. It was just kind of hard to get back in the groove of everything. And then once I started working out with you guys, you know, just being in the gym atmosphere, I was like, I mean, this is what I want to do. Like, it just hit me one day. I was like, wow, like, forget the soccer. I mean, yeah, I still love soccer and everything, but forget the soccer, forget all of that. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, I love this. And, yeah, like, I guess I never really thanked y'all guys for it, but, yeah, just, you know, y'all bringing me in and just, you know, letting me be in your friend group and everything, just building up that friendship and everything. Like, it just really helped out a lot, just pursuing what I want to do. So, y'all definitely had a big part of that, to be honest.
Thank your 18-inch arms, dude.
That's
why
what can I
we
say?
Brought you in. You're the biggest guy we could find.
You're the Brewers nerd.
We were like me, Cody. We're kind of scrawny guys. We need someone who's actually big in order to actually call us Small Patrol.
Between you and Ed, I don't want to discredit Jeff. He was right there neck and neck.
Yeah.
Me and DJ and Craig were just kind of like buds and we're like, hey, we want to be a part of it. we'll be part of the patrol. Y'all the swole.
Yeah.
Just the patrol. Leave out the swole.
We got the patrol part.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just just the friendship in general that what we had was great. Y'all definitely encouraged me to just keep doing what I was doing, and it helped me out a lot. And I definitely know that I want to pursue being a strength and conditioning coach later on in the future. So yeah, it's going great so far.
So like, you and Cody went to the gym today. You got in around like 3, 4, 5-ish today.
Like 5.
This was like 5-ish. Yeah.
5-ish. You guys hit the gym. Then you guys came back, had dinner. I met up with you guys here. We've only been able to catch up for like an hour or so far.
Yeah, it's basically been like almost 2 years since we've seen each other almost.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
It's been an eternity, really. I mean, gosh.
We were just talking about how it's really nice when you have, we put a name on our friend group. We know we call it the Soul Patrol, but really, like, the group of friends that we have, it's really nice because so far we've tested it, 2-year time span, and it's just snapped right back in.
Oh, yeah.
It's like time didn't pass at all.
No doubt at all. Like, literally, right when I walked in the door and I saw Cody, it was just like old time's sake, like walking to y'all's room upstairs in Townhouse 3C, man. I mean, it was just like old times. Like, I walked in, I was like, dude, what's up? And then when I saw you, we hugged each other, and like Shane, we started talking in our weird, creepy, snuggle voices. But yeah, dude, like, we just picked up, like, right where we left off, basically. It was great. Like, no doubt.
It's really, really awesome. Like, we were talking about that when we went down to South Carolina last weekend with Ed and Jeff. Just how important that group of friends is. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
and
for sure.
How going forward,
I was going to comment, like, his dad kind of gave us that spiel.
Yeah, I was telling Will about that a little bit earlier.
Oh, did you? Yeah. And I guess just for the podcast's sake, and I don't know if Shane heard it, but, like, Jeff's dad was kind enough to invite us over, and Jeff's family was there, kind of house sitting / just getting away from home. I think they're from like Pinehurst, North Carolina. But they invited us over for dinner, grilled out, had a good time. Hadn't seen him since we graduated almost 2 years ago now, and he kind of gave us a spiel like halfway through a grill, and it was like, yeah, guys, this right here, keep it, and he said it like 3 times. Excuse me. And then he was like, I got my group of friends, but everyone goes their own way now. Everyone has their families and almost grandkids and everything now, and it's almost nearly impossible. And it really did like sink in for the first time of being told that when you're not like in college or high school. We were told that as grown men, and after like actually fully understanding that for at least like a year and a half. I mean, Shane's getting close to that age too, or he's understanding. I mean, you're basically graduate. You basically know. I mean, just each year you grow older, time goes by faster.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's scary. In a way. I mean, I'm definitely not, I don't fear life or anything that it brings, but I think one of the biggest things is just letting too much time pass by with, like, not seeing one another.
Right.
Let alone losing a friend. I feel like that's why it was pretty powerful that he kind of did that, because, it's weird. I feel like I've only met Jeff's dad maybe, like, once and, like, seen him at games, but for him to even, like, kind of just man up and even do that just in front of
It's
some
a
guys
very
you don't even
emotional
know.
thing to
Yeah.
say.
Oh yeah.
It's very like
Yeah.
it's a very vulnerable place to be, to kind of
Mhm.
admit that. I kind of remember him talking about how he hasn't really made friends, outside of college, like growing up and all that kind of stuff, like being an adult. You don't really make new friends a whole lot very often.
Unless
But, like
they're
you keep
like
your
work-related,
keep your group of friends that you had in college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what we're trying to do, at least.
I know we each
we'll
have, like,
revisit
our-
this in like 30 years, but
Oh yeah, it's really important. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, yeah, like you part ways, like after college or when you find a job or everything. But people don't realize that, yeah, we have all this access to communication, like Snapchat, social media, all that stuff. Like we have so much access to it, and people just realize, like, yeah, I can talk to them and like we keep in touch and everything. But do you actually see them in person? Like that's the main thing.
That's kind of what I was explaining to you
Yeah.
earlier at the gym we were lifting, just how like last weekend seeing Jeffy and Ed just like sparked this like fire underneath him. It was like, it's one thing is saying it, but actually doing it,
Exactly.
And too much
Yeah.
time. I mean, it's easier when you're in college because you leave to live with them or down the hall or next townhouse apartment or whatever over, or you have class or whatever. But now you're like, we're states away. Like think of Randall, he's on the West Coast.
and like it's easy to convince yourself, like, oh yeah, I texted them 3 weeks ago. Like we've talked,
Yeah.
but it's not really the same thing as actually seeing each other and hanging out and
Right.
like
Yeah.
making new memories. That's
Oh,
all.
yeah,
That's
for
what it's all
sure.
about. You don't make
For
new
sure.
memories when you call on the phone or anything like that. You make new memories when you're actually with each other.
Oh yeah.
I think,
No
and I
doubt.
think the big thing is like even at least a phone call rather than a text.
Yeah, yeah.
At least try to do that. Just because it's different. You hear their voice, you vibe with the personality, you actually get some emotion because it's not just digital messaging. But I guess this is all kind of a part of things, of course. But I don't know, Shane, what's your perspective? Because you're still, I don't want to say young.
You're a young gun still.
We're all young.
You're the youngest out of all of us.
Yeah.
so-
You're a
so
young gun
that's
among
still
men.
saying something. Yeah, no, I'll take that. I'll stay young for a long time. I know I'll appreciate it a lot later than now. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. I hate texting and even phone calls. They just feel so cheap, and a lot of times we feel like, even though as guys, we were just talking about this earlier, we could not see each other for 2 years and it's been a day in our minds. We just pick up right where we left off.
Absolutely.
But even so, I think we're actually more vulnerable, therefore, to falling into the trap of thinking that we can maintain a relationship only by a text or a call every now and then. But that's, it's like FaceTime. Whenever a girlfriend has tried to FaceTime you or something, it's like, oh, no, I want to see you. I want to, it's valuable, but it's really not. I mean, it's like a cheapened experience of being with one another. It's a cheapened, level of bonding where you're not really with each other. You're just kind of almost experiencing, and this is probably a deeper topic, but you could almost argue that you are experiencing a persona of the person because you're not actually with them. And, that's the danger of technology. But, without sounding like a, 80-year-old man, it's,
Well, I think a big thing about it is kind of like what I was mentioning earlier about like the memories aspect of it, is because if you talk to somebody every single day, but all you do is ever talk, like you don't really make new memories. You know what I mean?
Seriously, yeah.
Like you have to make those new memories where you're doing something together. Even if you're talking, but if you're in person, like us right now, like we're just talking, but this will be more of a memory
Oh yeah,
than
for
if we were
sure.
to have this exact same conversation over the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, quality
Yeah.
time
Oh,
is
yeah.
so important,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, heck, we were just talking an hour before this about stuff that we've done in the past, like
Yep.
just reminiscing on memories and stuff. I mean, we're still continuing to do that. Yeah, we haven't seen each other for like 2 years, but when we catch back up, it's still gonna be memories made.
Exactly.
Like we always do stuff together, and when we do it, we make sure we do it the right way, and that's what I just love about this friend group. No matter what we do, we always make memories, and that's how it should be with every single type of friendship or friend group that you have.
I think it's a matter of like, I don't know. We like I was kind of telling you earlier, like with this whole YouTube thing that me and DJ are like doing and like created. It's like, I mean, it's fun to grow. I know we do it all the time. We're dreamers, like we pushers. You keep me honest. Like we have all the pieces of the puzzle that make like this, big machine of what it is to grow. But the most important thing is just like having fun and making memories doing it. Because we talked about it several times, and I'll express it to the other people like you guys that are, Canada videos. Like that's something I can't wait to show my kids and grandkids, like the Canada video, compared to maybe just like, the Myrtle Beach video, to any other, even the crappy road trip videos. Like I cannot wait to show my kids so they can I'm almost curious to what their imagination creates.
Well, it also
painting a
inspires
picture of
them
what
to
it
go
is.
out, get out of their comfort
Exactly.
zone, and do the same thing. I mean, that's what you want your future children to do in general. I mean, not even your own children, just other people in general. You want everyone to go out in the world and experience new things with, friends or family, whatever. I mean, that's just part of life. That's how life should be, going out making memories. And I totally agree with that. That's how it should be.
And that's something that's really been kind of dwelling on my mind the past couple weeks is the difference between happiness and enjoyment. And, so many people I know, and I've been dragged into this, I'm only just recently finding out how to get away from it. If someone asked me a week ago what my perfect day would look like, 70% of it would be selfish, me things. But, ever since kind of, thinking about this, pondering on it more, realizing that enjoyment is not what makes happiness. Enjoyment is just what kind of adds flavor to happiness and makes it more happy, But whenever you trump happiness with just pure enjoyment, I mean, you get depression. Look at everybody today pursuing things or material or, specific experiences that are temporary. All they get are, maybe hangovers or lost relationships or no relationships at all with people they don't even really bond with on a personal level. And that's so empty, and people find that at the end of the day, but they just think that, the answer is just to go do more of that. I just don't get enough of it. Work is in the way. I don't have enough time just to do that, so that's why I'm not happy. When in reality, as much as you don't want to at first, sacrificing that video game time or that Netflix time or whatever for yourself to be with someone, in your family, a sibling, or even a grandmother, grandpa, anybody, or a friend, who asks you to hang out. You're too tired for work, whatever. Get over it. Hang out with them. I guarantee you, even if you lose an extra hour or two of sleep, you're going to be more fulfilled after that. And that's super important.
That's deep, man. That's deep.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that recently, too. Well, there's so many examples that we've either talked about or done in the last, 2 weeks. For instance, this, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm pretty much sleep deprived from the last 2 weeks. Last night I got maybe 5 hours of sleep. I feel like that's even why I kind of feel kind of crappy today because I'm so tired. But, it's worth it. To an extent. No, it's worth it. And, I mean, last week, Edgar and Jeffy and Kayla, they stayed up or at least, hung out for a while when they had other plans or they had work early the next morning. I mean, I know, Shane hung out with, 3 friends in the last week that knowing, on a weeknight that's come over here, that knowing he has to get up in the morning for work that, in 5 or 6 hours when they leave, to, late night driving to see, them in Myrtle Beach. I mean, there's so many memories that we've already made just in the last, week that it's worth it. And we could have just very well, I'm not really feeling it tonight. I'm just going to play video games. I think about all the times that I almost regret doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And but it's what we talk about all the time, too. It's just whatever's convenient or efficient to us or the easiest thing to do. But then again, that's why we're just things mean more when you go out of your way to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah. The thing is, me and Cody, we've planned this for what? How long have we planned for me to come up here? It's
2 years.
Nah,
2 years?
Maybe, possibly.
We probably promised,
this specific date, probably at least we mentioned around the holidays how it needs to happen.
Yeah.
And then I think sometime in January, maybe beginning of January, you're yeah, man, I want to come up in March for spring break at some point. And you said next weekend, which you thought was going to be the end of your spring break, I think, or you thought your spring break started, but it was actually the end.
Yeah.
Now it's the middle because coronavirus. But,
yeah. Thanks a lot, Corona.
But
got 2 weeks of spring break now and possibly no more school the rest of the
Thanks,
semester. Thank you.
Corona.
This is the antidote right here. Actually, it's counterintuitive. That's why everybody.
That's not medically proven.
Right. Yeah. Disclaimer: I'm not a doctor. Not even close.
Disclaimer: we're also not sponsored by Corona.
No, not that either.
As in the beer for those who are listening.
Well, I'm not sponsored by the virus. But
yeah, I know you and me were talking on our way back from South Carolina that we had this weird feeling that we just went on this massive 2-week trip back in October, all throughout Europe, and that simple weekend in South Carolina meant so much more to us.
Yep.
We'll never trade those memories that we made going across Europe. Those were amazing, but there was something that meant something more.
Yep.
Just hanging out with, and I think what it is we were constantly talking about you and me about the sacrifices that Ed and Jeff were making to have us there.
That's very true.
Right? And I think that's a big thing is that you have to acknowledge that whenever somebody's hanging out with you, they're making a sacrifice to be there with you.
Right.
right? Like right now, Will's making a sacrifice to come all the way here to hang out with us.
Yeah, I wasn't sacrificed. I wouldn't come up here.
Like you could have been doing something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You made some kind of a conscious decision to turn something else away to come here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ed made a conscious decision to stay up until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning with us, even though he knew he had to work the next morning.
Yep.
Because that was the last time he was going to be able to see us for a while. Jeffy made a conscious decision to do everything he could to call off from work for a day to be able to hang out with us because it was his first time seeing him in two years.
Yep.
And that just kind of goes to show what you'll do for the boys. I mean, you know, no matter where life takes us or, you know, what jobs we take, you know, whatever life situations we're going through, I mean, we're always going to be there for each other. That's how it should be with every friend group in general. I mean, like you said, you know, Jeff and Ed, like, they went out of their way just to have y'all over in Myrtle Beach.
It's like my heart goes out to people that don't have it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like legitimately, my heart goes out to them. Like,
Oh,
it
absolutely.
makes you want to be their friend in some sort of way or
Yeah.
help get them that friend. You know, because if you don't have that,
You're missing out, man. You
Yeah.
really are missing out.
I-
I mean,
Yeah. No, I can't imagine a lack of companionship, like, at all.
true.
It can be
Yeah.
such a tough thing to find. Like, I think we're genuinely really lucky with, like, the way that we found each other and stuff and how
Oh,
it's
we
just
were
kind of grown.
Yeah, we were definitely blessed,
agree.
Like-
with our
Yeah.
friend group.
I sometimes think if our friend group would have stuck together as much as we did, if I think it was Jeffy didn't name the group Soul Patrol in our text message. You know what I mean? Like
I
if he
did.
didn't put in, you did it.
yeah.
Okay.
The only reason to remember because I'll never forget putting the emojis and like they're gonna think this is so stupid.
Credit
No,
where
no.
credit's
Like
due.
if you didn't put like a title to our group, if we would have really stayed together as well as we did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Words
Like
mean
I think about that
things, man.
sometimes. You know.
Names give a lot.
Well, like,
of
I just
power.
and I'll never forget it. And I don't mean to take any sort of thunder, but just like I remember making the name in my head. I was like, let me not change it. The emojis will be fun. But then I was like, they're gonna make fun of me so much. But it's been that way since senior year, junior year.
3 years ago. It's still the
Junior
same
year,
name.
yeah,
We
same
still
name.
chat in it every once
The
in a
emojis
while.
are iconic. It's the little siren with the arm emoji.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like in
It
my
goes
head,
per-
that's like,
it literally goes
like
perfect.
if you just put the siren with the arm, I know
I
exactly
literally,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
it goes perfectly together.
Yep.
Like,
It's even a Snapchat group message.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yep.
But
You know your friends when you can do stuff like that and people still like you.
yeah,
yes.
exactly,
Dude, we
exactly.
had Santa hats with Sharpie on them and said Swole Patrol.
And wore them while we worked
That-
out
that
at the
meant-
gym at our college.
that
Did
meant-
not care
That
what
meant
people
so
thought.
much to me. I remember being at Target and like I was getting myself a Santa hat just because I wanted to wear
Yeah,
one,
that's
and I
right.
was like, they're only like $3, and I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I bought them all. I bought a Sharpie too, and I went back and I spent the time to like write Swole Patrol on them, and I was like,
He's like,
man,
hey mate, I think I'm back
I
in
hope
class.
I
He's about-
really hope they wear these, and like I just like toss them to you.
Well,
to them.
I think you got them from like while we were all at class or the gym.
Yeah,
like, 2 hours
yeah,
before.
yeah.
And then you like threw mine at me, like, hey man, I'm like what? And then I see that Swole Patrol, I'm like, oh god, we're wearing these in the gym, aren't we?
You know how I knew that it meant something
How?
when Craig wore it.
Oh, if
That is
Craig,
true.
man, if
Craig wore it. That made me
if
almost
Craig goes
cry.
along with anything, you know for sure that
Yep.
it's real. It is
Craig,
real.
He didn't wear. He brought it with him to the gym, and he put it on just so like it was on for a
And
second.
you could see, yeah, you could see the shame in his
Yeah,
face. But he's
but
like,
he
you know
did
what?
it.
Screw
But he
it.
did
You
it.
know what?
He did it. He wore it for a whole workout, for a whole sesh, like a
But
whole
deep,
set.
you know, deep down, he did not want to be left out. You
Exactly.
know, like I mean, it was just a good time in general.
commitment.
Like once we saw everybody else putting it on, it was just like, okay, yeah, we gotta do this. Like we didn't
just
care
for
what people
one
thought.
workout sesh.
Yeah.
And now that's a memory. you
And we
know?
have a pic of it all
Yeah.
together. We have a pic, an iconic pic of us
Exactly.
sitting in front of the gym. Just, it was, oh god, it was perfect.
Exactly. All right. Let's stop talking about the past. Let's start talking about the future.
Okay, let's
what
do
kind
it.
of ideas can we do for the future? Because I know you and me were just talking about this. You know,
Yeah.
like what kind of things can we do as a group in the future? Because I know we're talking about like hanging out with each other's house and stuff like that,
Right.
right?
Well, it's kind of like what me and you talked about earlier. You know, we pick a specific date
Yeah.
every year that we can plan for. You know, we have plenty of time to plan ahead. We know exactly when the date is, where we're gonna meet, whatever, and you know, it's all mutual. Like we know, yeah, we can all work that together, and that's how it should be. And you know, we can do, like you said, we can go to Myrtle Beach one year, or go to a different state another year, or just go to someone else's house and stay there for the weekend, just chill out. You know, get to meet the family and everything.
Exactly.
I mean, that'd be perfect in general. Like, what do you think, Shane?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I mean, as long as you can give a little bit, like sacrifice a little bit, it's going to mean so
Exactly.
much.
Yeah.
Once a year, because you know it's like I have a lot of friends in, a lot of different countries because of the Sea Cadets in the international exchange. And, we really bonded over such a short period of time. And, I was making all these plans to go visit them and stuff, and it was great. We still have a group chat that we occasionally drop in and text in, but, it was like all the potential was there. But because we said we were going to do something, and then we didn't follow up on it, seemed like no big deal the first time, but that snowballs, and then now it's like, I miss them, but, everybody's doing their own thing, and we've almost forgotten about each other.
And
we've filled in those gaps with other things in our lives.
I feel like there's a really, I don't know if irony is the right word, but, is that you're thinking that, right? You're thinking, they probably don't even know, think about me anymore. And they're probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah, possibly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That group that you had at one point, every once in a while, you might think of them, once every 3 months, maybe, right? Maybe even less, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, they probably haven't thought about me in years.
See, that,
maybe a high school friend.
Yeah,
right?
that
high school friend
in reality, you both
probably
know each
thinks
other,
the same thing.
That's
Probably,
definitely the
yeah.
struggle. I mean, you're thinking I want to go see them, but they're busy. They got their own life, their own job. They're doing their own thing. I'm doing my own thing. It's kind of hard to work around it.
Yeah.
No, text them, call them, set a FaceTime up. I don't care. Just group chat, whatever. Get it going. Get meetups. Make it happen. That's how it should be. I don't care the coronavirus. I'm still here. I came up here during the coronavirus. I don't give two craps what's going on. I wanted to see y'all. I haven't seen y'all in 2 flipping years. I wanted to see y'all, and I made it happen.
For something that's really been bothering me ever since I heard it. And I was really thrown off that this person said that. And I'm going to make a reference to Joe Rogan, DJ, because it's something I wanted to wait and, ask more opinions on it, I guess. So, perfect setting. So, it was when... It's a couple episodes ago. I'm trying to... Who's the gay stand-up guy?
I don't know his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, because I feel like they both, they come off as the people that would be more than happy to be those... they're great personalities as, comedians that, are really seem to be really friendly with everyone, great conversationalists. They both said, and they were serious as a heart attack, that they don't like random phone calls, even from friends, and FaceTimes.
I remember hearing that. It was
so
very
thrown
weird.
off. Yeah, because I love that.
Random FaceTimes.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know you and I have both been, either at work or, we look on our phone, and, while we're on the phone or something, so-and-so's calling. I can't. We're on the phone. Or we could be, on a trip or, in the middle of filming something or, not right now, I'm busy. That's one thing. But if you're just, chilling, driving down the road and you see a name pop up, I'm just let's see what they want. And, I mean, if it's, a friend of, 5 years, let's do it.
Well, you never know when the last time's going to be when you talk to one of your friends, man.
Yeah.
You can't take that for granted. You got to stay in touch with your friends. You never know when the last day is going to be. You never. I mean, life
1,000%.
throws crazy stuff.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Seriously.
that's crazy, man. I didn't know that.
Or even more deep, you never know when that phone call could be the difference
Exactly.
between keeping a friend and not, or more so. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether you're helping them through something or they
Exactly.
just need a friend. I mean, they don't have to tell you that they're going through something, but just a matter of you made their day with at least answering and talking to them. I think it's the same thing of just being in college and. From a freshman, yes, I was one of the ones that would walk to class with my headphones in, maybe head down or hood up, even if it was cold or not. And then by senior year, I'm
You just thought you were cool.
no, I didn't.
You just thought you looked cool.
I wanted to avoid everyone on the way to class, especially at 8 a.m. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I don't blame
That's
you.
if I went.
8 a.m.s. That was so early back then, wasn't it?
Right. That's if I went.
8 a.m. now, it's is it almost lunchtime yet?
Yeah, for real.
Gosh, you're not kidding. Now I get to work at 6 a.m. sometimes, just 8 a.m. is what I would do. But
I'm still in college.
But then compared to senior year, I didn't want to watch class. I was like, oh man, I wonder what I'm going to see. And you saw 20 people, and you wanted to fist bump them, hey, what's up, or mess with them. I don't know. Even just those little moments that I would go back just one more walk from the townhouse to an Emory class, just for that interaction. And,
or even
making someone's day.
I know we went to a small school, but did you have those people that you never really talked to, but you'd see them on the same route every day?
Oh my
and you
gosh,
kind of developed
same
a
place.
head nod.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't you guys. You almost didn't even know each other's names really. You probably did because it was a small school, but you never talked anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
But you saw each other on the same path every day. It was just a little head
I
nod.
do have people in my own gym too.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
You know I've gotten really close with, and y'all are gonna think it's weird, but the people that work in the cafeteria.
That's not weird.
Dude, well no, people think it's weird, but I'm gonna shout out to Miss Kim, Willie, they are some of the chillest, coolest people ever. Some of the best personalities.
Does Willie say his name like that too?
Yes.
Willie.
Willie. Dude, no, he's literally 85 years old, and he cooks the chicken
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the one that cooked the chicken whenever y'all were there too.
Wow.
Yes.
That guy's a saint.
Yes. I mean, it's amazing. He's literally 85 years old. He gets around well. I mean, it's amazing.
Willie's chicken.
What about Miss Pam?
Miss Pam? Oh yeah, gosh, Miss Pam. I totally forgot about Miss Pam. Yeah, she's doing good, man.
She's
yeah.
still there.
Oh yeah, dude, she's still chilling.
Susie B.
Dude, she literally asks about the traveling techers every single time I see her. I'm like, Pam, we had this conversation 2 hours ago at breakfast.
Well, hopefully you get to go back this semester and tell her that you had to see us.
Yeah. Well, no, I mentioned it to her. Yeah.
Oh,
She
awesome.
said, make sure I say hello to him. And I was like, yeah.
Make sure they bring me Johnny Depp back from that
Yeah.
trip.
Yep.
If that lady asked me one more time, she's not gonna do this. That lady asked me one more time to bring Johnny Depp back from a random trip.
When did she ask that?
Dude,
Every
kidding me?
day. Every
Dude, the
day.
first road trip we
Why
did-
would she ask to bring Johnny Depp
Dude,
back?
I don't know. That's like her man crush. She's like, just bring Johnny Depp back from California. I want to see him and pinch his cheeks. Just bring him back. And then we went to Canada. Bring me Johnny Depp in a winter coat. I want to see him with his little winter coat. And I'm like, why is Johnny Depp gonna be in Canada? And why Johnny Depp? There's like 80,000 other men
Why
that you could be
not?
obsessed
Maybe
with.
he will.
Man, Miss Pam.
You never know.
What a personality.
Just keep an eye out.
Could you imagine if we saw Johnny Depp and we felt compelled to go up and go, I know this sounds crazy, but come back with us to our Southwest Virginia college. It's a real small college. You never heard of it. Come back with us. You have to meet our lunch lady. You have to.
She is absolutely dearly obsessed with you.
If I had that much money and I didn't have like a family to see every day, I'd be totally doing it.
Yeah, why not? I
It'd be
mean,
like,
why not?
Ron, I'm about to make someone's year.
Life.
Life. Right?
Yeah.
I wonder if any celebrities actually truly feel that. I mean, I feel there's got to be some, like athletes or someone that love those more than actually playing their
Well, I think
sport
about
or
some
actual-
athletes that donated, like, NBA players. NBA shut down, they're suspended, no more games. They donated, there's like 3 players that donated $100,000 just to the staff
One of
that
them,
work.
Zion Williamson, who
Is
is
a
a
rookie.
and missed half the season.
Yeah. And Giannis, he's only been in the league for 2-3 years? I mean,
a couple, I think.
yeah, he hasn't been there long either.
Didn't the Mavericks coach look into doing all that? I can't remember. I don't
think
know if
so.
he did. I saw a video that he said he was looking in.
He was the first person.
He was looking into like the actual
Mark Cuban?
Yeah.
That's the name, yeah.
He was
Yeah.
looking into the actual like
Logistics
of paying for
Yeah.
the whole staff.
Well, did you see his reaction whenever he found out? Did you see the
He
video?
was sitting courtside, and it was like in the middle of their game, and I think they were actually allowed to finish their game. If not mistaken. He was sitting.
No, they hadn't even started the game yet.
Oh.
Yeah. They hadn't even started the game yet.
I know he was courtside. He was wearing like blue jeans and a shirt.
He's wearing a Maverick shirt.
What?
Yeah.
Like shaking his head. And
Yeah.
Like, he went over to the bench and the coach. He was like, and I don't know. To me, I thought that was it was a great interaction because you're you're the owner and you're just interacting like they're friends. I love that. And he was like, guys, basically the league's canceled. Like, not just the game, not just this week, but the freaking league is suspended until further notice.
Yeah, it was crazy stuff, man. His reaction was...
And his first statements were, I need to pay these people. Like, the employees from, like, the little concession people to the,
Yeah, just from this
janitors.
virus and the media blowing out of proportion, people are losing their jobs. Like, they're out of work right now.
and toilet paper.
Yeah, and toilet paper.
Lots of toilet paper's gone missing.
Yes. My dad
If you
literally texted me. I'm in Virginia right now. I'm from North Carolina. He literally texted me and said, hey, if there's any toilet paper in Virginia, please bring it home because we went to the grocery store today and there's no toilet paper.
Some foreign imports.
Yeah, for real.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Red Cross starts asking for toilet paper rolls instead of canned food.
Oh, my God.
I can see it.
It's likely.
Slightly used, it's okay. Bring it on in.
Slightly. Oh. They're going to have to start using towels and water, I guess.
Handkerchiefs, anything.
Just go with the old-fashioned hand
Who has
swipe.
handkerchiefs?
Dude,
There's
I worked
actually
downtown
about
and
20 of them in that drawer behind
Really?
you. Yeah, I promise
Do you have handkerchiefs?
No.
I only have them because I used to work for an old friend of mine, Mr. Cecil Grinolds.
Is that the
Great
Italian?
guy. No, that was Nino.
No,
Busso.
mate. That was Nino.
And but no, Mr. Cecil, I used to cut his grass and stack wood and do all the stuff, and that was his thing. Was he was always like, I had terrible allergies, so in the spring I'd be like blowing the heck out of my nose, and he was like, "Here, have a hanky." So I had just accumulated.
It
like
wasn't
20
used,
of
was
them.
it?
No.
Okay,
he would
that's
keep
good.
like 4 of them. He said, "I always keep one extra in case a nice young lady is there crying." And he would
In that
act it
case,
out
you were
too.
that
he
nice
was- he was
young
the most,
lady.
like-
Right, I guess, yeah. Go figure. 20 times I was that nice young lady,
Oh,
apparently, because
Lord.
I've got that many of them in there.
After the 10th time, he just started carrying a third one for you.
Probably.
That's funny.
Man, love this hankies. I couldn't get it. They come in handy, though. It's better than... I mean, imagine the difference between carrying around a box of tissues and one hanky. Because you can fold it so many times, it's like, you know, it's a little gross at first, but then you get over it and you learn how to not, you know, be disgusting. And
How often do you carry a handkerchief with you?
Not at all.
Here's all the bonuses of it.
Oh,
Don't worry about those. Don't do those.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Because I don't do any of them. I don't do them at all.
Gosh.
Rarely.
Change the subject a little bit. So I kind of want to talk about, you know, the Canada trip back in, what was it, 2018?
Have a reason to talk about traveling.
A little reminiscing.
Yeah, was it 2018?
Yes, March 2018.
Cody
That was
knows
literally
the
2
exact
years ago,
dates.
yeah.
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 No,
it
I
was-
don't.
it was
It's on my
this
freaking
week.
time hop.
This week,
Relax.
2 years ago.
So I guess everybody can, you know, speak for themselves, but like I guess we can single each other out. What was
Everybody here went on that trip.
right? Yeah, everybody here
And then some.
went on the trip. All took part in it. So I guess we'll just start with Shane. What was your favorite part of the Canada trip?
Dude, how could you pick a favorite part? But
I know, dude.
the biggest...
I think that's your response.
No,
to
that was
every
my...
question.
Literally every single one I know.
Every
that's
time.
Even
so
the
lazy.
YouTube videos,
It's
videos.
so
yeah.
lazy. I know. You're right. I can do better than that. No,
I remember. I think every single time you get asked a question of what's your favorite or least favorite part, you go,
Oh, man.
man.
My favorite was
How could you
my
pick a
favorite
favorite?
part.
Not my favorite.
He had a toboggan on. And he literally just went. It just man, I can't even explain.
I took it off and I said, man. No, okay, so the
that's
biggest, the greatest thing about that trip, I'm going to pick two, but they're technically one. They tie in together. The camaraderie, it was just like, it's like Lord of the Rings, you know, for my fellow nerds, which I don't even think you have to be a nerd to like Lord of the Rings. There's a lot of
great movies,
great
great
deep
movies.
themes.
If you
themes
call
in
me
it.
a
It's-
dwarf, you're gonna leave right now.
You're a leprechaun.
No.
Thank you.
But,
That's seasonal.
you know, it's just that Frodo and Sam bond that you forge. You may not know each other at all, but when you go on a journey together, you become brothers. And you know, it's like I guess I have a kinetic personality, so most people tend to just kind of assimilate me into their friend groups wherever I go, as long as I, you know, put in the effort. And you guys just kind of welcome me on, and I'm so thankful because that was all the time. It's like my background. We just bonded over that a second ago. We were like, wait, is that your desktop background? I was like, that's my desktop background. We're like, mine
Literally.
too. Literally, all of us have a Canada background because that trip was so influential and such a great part of my life. I look at that desktop, and I'm like, man, I cannot wait to go on another journey and have the same life-changing experience that is. Because it is. It's like, it doesn't matter where you go. If it's far enough and long enough, you guys get to bond, you know, hard enough, and it's just...
I would go back there in a heartbeat with y'all for sure. But just the drive, everything. I would do it all over again.
Well,
like
even if
everything.
you're by yourself, you should go to Banff because it's
dude,
gorgeous.
Oh gosh, words can't even do justice to it, man.
Not at all.
First off, I'm just remembering that on my personal computer, my background's also of Banff. I forgot that, but it's a different picture.
Makes me so happy.
It's the one where Ed looks like he's like in an album cover, and he's looking off in the distance, and you're on the other side looking down or something like that.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know
we're
what
like
you're
on that
talking about.
ice. We're on Lake Louise.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways,
like Louise.
So like you'd go back. Like me and Cody had a whole conversation on the way to South Carolina. We had a lot of deep conversations and a lot on the road.
Car rides, you always have the deepest
like a 9-hour
conversations ever.
It's like a 6-hour ride.
Especially when you're staring at Saskatchewan.
It was like wait, you're talking about
No offense,
Myrtle Beach?
Canada.
Yeah.
From here to Myrtle, it's only 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's like 5. I mean, like 5 hours, 15 minutes.
Five.
That's
5.5,
weird.
yeah.
From where I live, it's 5 or 6ish.
Well, you're always on like the western side of
Yeah,
North
true,
Carolina.
yeah.
So like when we were going down, we were talking about how like it's so tempting to keep going back to the same places you've already been, but then you're robbing yourself of the experience of having a brand new journey.
Yeah.
Like you'll always have those
Totally.
memories of Banff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'll always have those. And if you go back, you're running the risk of like corrupting those memories in a way.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Like you'll go back and you might overlap the memories that you had with a memory of you tripping on that sidewalk there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
something stupid. But like you're also robbing yourself of like the chance to experience a brand new adventure that would go alongside that first adventure in your memories.
Could even be better, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, exactly. Like you would use the knowledge that you learned from that first one, or the things that you appreciated from that first one,
And now you'll know to look for them.
And you'll go into that next one. You'll go, this is one of those moments. We're having one of those moments right now. I'll remember this, but you won't actually think that in that moment.
Yeah.
It won't be until like weeks later, and you'll go, that was that moment.
You got a great point. That kind of banking off of the happiness and enjoyment thing. You know, it's like whenever we have such an incredible, like, you know, amazing experience like that in anything, like journey, fun night, whatever. You know, it's so great, and we have such a high, of that experience that we're just like, oh, let's do it again. Like, let's just go back to Banff. But it's empty. But you know, you're exactly right. It does kind of rob that of the experience, and you notice that when you try to repeat, not only is it never going to be as good because you're not going to be able to repeat nostalgia. It's just impossible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's why so many, you know, game companies, movie producers don't make sequels, because they know that if the fans love the first one so much,
it's gonna be hard to top it off.
Yeah,
man.
they're just looking for like the reincarnation of the first one, the classic, into the sequel, and it never happens. It always fails, and they always trash. You know, you get trash reviews because you're never going to replace that. You know, or it's like if, you know, say it's a party, you know, a bunch of people at a party. It was a great night. It's like, let's all do it again tomorrow night, and then you just feel sick. You know, most people just feel sick and hungover, and it's like,
you can never.
It's unfulfilling.
You can never replicate the first time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unless you try to like redo that own memory in your head.
I don't think there's no way in hell we could redo the first one anyways. Like all the memories we went through and everything. Like there's no way we could replay all that, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's
because like
so right.
Me and Cody were talking about how I can't remember how we got into it, but we were talking about how at some point, how did we get into it? We were talking about the whole thing about like if you could only go to one place the rest of your life, or like three places, where would you go? Like, if you could just cycle through three. But we got into some kind of a conversation where we were talking about how at some point, it was if you kept doing like a cycle of everywhere you've been so far, right? Yeah. Everywhere that we've been so far.
I asked you, if you could only go to like out of all the places we've been, and it didn't have to be a place that we've been together. What are what we were trying to make it the same place that we've been? It was like you pick your top 3 favorite places that you could do like as an annual trip.
No. Yes, we were talking about that, but what I was trying to remember, I remember it, is that we were saying you always say, I'll go back here.
Oh, right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Remember that? Like, we had this really big realization.
Yeah.
You always say, we'll come back here, right? Like, everywhere we've been, we've said, no, we're going to come back here at some point, right? You always tell yourself that.
Right.
But we were saying, at some point, you get to the point where it is impossible for you to go back to everywhere you've said you're going to go back to.
Right.
Right? Like we were
You've
saying,
been so many freaking places. Like, it's just
places,
like we were saying, if you like every other year you go to a new big trip, right? Like we're trying to do one like a yearly, right? But every other year, if you try to go, when you're like in your 40s or 50s, at some point you're going to look at the math and you're going to go, I'm going to have to start crossing places off. Like if I stop going to new places and start going to all my old places, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's a very sad thought to think of, because like it's everywhere you go, you're always gonna say, "I'll be back here at some point."
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And some in your gut, you actually know you will, but I feel like 90% of the time you just say it just to justify in your mind, not to be like
it makes
super
it easier
sad
to leave.
when you leave.
Right.
Exactly.
But those are the memories we live for, the ones that make us kind of hurt at the end because they were so good we don't want to let go of them.
Yeah, and when you say that, it makes you realize, like. This was definitely a memory that we'll never forget. Yeah, like, I mean, we definitely had the time of our lives here. I want to come back here. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a comfort thing if you think about it. Yeah. Like, you know, you just want to be like, yeah, we did have fun. Yeah, I want to come back here. Yeah, I mean, it's more of a comfort thing than anything. But I definitely get where you're coming from with that, for sure.
And that memory is how you go back there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You can always relive. It's kind of like, so like if you think about it in like movie sense, right? Kevin Smith, he said in one of his podcasts once that like with new movies, people always get upset. Like say it takes Star Wars, okay?
Right.
When the new ones are coming out, they're getting really upset because it's ruining the franchise, right? Well, those original movies are always there for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like those, like you can, if you want to, go back and just watch the originals and just pretend in your mind like the other ones don't exist.
Right, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And like you can't take away from what was. Now, if you're George Lucas and you go back and start editing them and all that, that's different.
Right.
But like mostly, you can't go back and like destroy a previous like a movie. That movie is always there for you. Those characters are always there for you in the way that they are preserved in that movie. Your memory is the same exact way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Banff will always be the way it was, exactly how it is in our memories.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then when we get together and we exchange stories, and it's like you're confirming your own memory.
It's kind of like we're almost.
Right.
It's kind of like we're there. You know. It's kind of like we're like, wow, we're actually here. You know. I kind of think like I'm actually there. Yeah.
The same joy
Like
that
just-
I had when I was there.
Yeah, just bringing back the memories, like DJ was saying. Like, you know, we bring them up, and we just, you know, this is a memory, one after the other, and it's just like, wow, we really did make a lot of memories there. I mean, it's just a great feeling. Just a great feeling.
Totally, man. Seriously.
I like how, I think Shane, you said it earlier, that you were talking about how, like when you go on a big trip, like it bonds you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that's, like, with our experience, that is so true. Because, like, we have our Banff group that's, like, really tight. We can share our memories about Banff and all that. And then we have our road trip group.
Yep.
Right? And, like, every time we hang out with Tristan, the road trip comes up.
Yeah.
You know, somehow or another, the road trip comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's really nice to continue to create those kind of groups and those memories and all that kind of stuff. And it's really, really awesome how much a simple, like, week-long trip can, like, impact your whole life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because it's the same reason why. So you know, I've got one of my best friends, Tanner DeBrucke. You know, we've only known each other a handful of years, but I feel like I've known him my whole life. We're that close, but it's because we bond actually on a spiritual level. And when you share something that deep in common with one another,
What do you mean by a spiritual level?
So I'm not afraid. We don't usually profess like, you know, specific beliefs or whatever, but it's a part of who I am. I'm a Christian. Me and our other best friend, Jeremiah Settle, we all did like a Bible study every week. It was Jeremiah's idea. And at first I kind of didn't want to do it. I didn't want to surrender the time or whatever. I was just kind of being stingy, but you know, we got together and it wasn't just like, you know, turn to James 3 and it was like, yeah, we would read, but most of it was us just, hey, how did your week go, man? And, you know, we learned about each other's best and worst days and weeks and talked about it. And, you know, we did point to the word, you know, we prayed together. And we were just so close and connected by that experience with one another every week that I'd only known him 2 years when we started. But it felt like I said, like we'd been together since we were 5 kind of thing. And same thing when you go on a trip. When you're both, it may only be a 2-week period, but when both of your lives are drastically changed by that experience, you bond over that big part that is now part of both of your lives. So you do bond on it's like almost a biological level. It's strange, but it's crazy, and I love it.
You know what I think a big player in that is like, so what you were just saying about how you and your buddy bonded on a spiritual level. I think a big part of that is that you guys opened up like emotionally to each other.
Totally.
And like you used your Bible study as like a means to open up.
As like a conduit.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
A road trip is very similar in the fact that you're stuck with those guys.
Oh, absolutely.
For hours
Oh,
and
yeah.
hours and hours
You
on
do
end.
tend to open up with
And
each
you
other.
tend to open up.
A Ford Escape, probably one of the smallest cars ever to
Like when
drive.
you're elbows to elbows with somebody for hours on end, and you're just like, you do what you have to do to make the most of it.
Yeah.
And if you're with the right group of people, or even if you just have one person that has that right mindset that's able to kind of convince everybody else to join along,
You learn a lot.
you have that emotional time where you just have nothing but each other.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
You know, you try to maybe everyone put your phones down for like an hour. Let's just talk.
Yeah.
Right? And you all just share stories. And when sharing stories, you get to those emotional levels beneath like the surface.
Oh yeah.
And like for our trip to Banff, we did like a significant amount of road tripping there. And then somehow we spent a whole week there more or less. And then a significant amount of road tripping back.
Mm-hmm. Kind
Like,
of based on.
I feel like that's
yeah.
a lot. Like that road trip there is what like bonds everybody together, and then you have that amazing time where you're already all like you're one unit once you're there.
It was just like with, you know, Tristan brings it up quite often. I know I think about it quite often, but like I only knew brief stories of Tristan. I knew you guys were friends growing up. You worked at Busch Gardens, this and that before that first road trip, and then Tristan, you know. I knew immediately from the get-go, I was like, we're gonna get along with this guy great. You know, he's not just the guy that has all the connections in California and Colorado.
He does though. He has the connections.
He does. But I was like, just from all the stuff that DJ's told me is like, I can see it right now. It's almost like a Jimmy Neutron brain blast. It just all came together full circle as soon as I met the kid. And every day of the trip, I felt like I knew him. And I know Shane can attest to that for when we filmed the documentary Across the Country with Henry and Spencer. Like, I met with him twice, Shane once, and I knew them for basically 2 hours worth of time. And then I just basically invited these strangers into traveling across the country. Shane met them for 45 minutes worth of time.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we're gonna spend and a Dunkin' Donuts. We're gonna spend 2 weeks with these guys that I don't even really know in my car, going across the country. Same thing with Tristan. Like, I knew him for not even a day's time, and we just hit the road. And I feel like every single day, it almost as when you're just somebody tightening a screw, hanging up something on your wall or something. I don't know. It just every day it was tighter and tighter and tighter. By the time you get back, you're I feel like I've known you since birth.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
It's kind of basing off what all y'all said, really. You have your friends back at home that you grew up with your whole life. You know them. You've built that relationship. I mean, y'all stay in touch, everything. You've known them from basically the time you were born to now. And then I met you guys 4 years ago. 4 years out of 22 years I've been alive. And just the fact that, we went on the Banff trip. And Shane, I mean, I met him probably, 2 years ago. I had only known you for one night, and we went on a trip together for a week. And just the fact that we went on that trip, I feel like I'm closer to all of y'all compared to my friend group back at home. Just because, we were together for basically a week, and just out of that week, we made all those memories, and I feel like those memories have been more important to me the memories I've made back at home, just because what the meaning was behind all of it.
Yeah.
Now, to be a little philosophical, do you think the reason that is because the memories that you share with, say, us, with the Banff trip, is who you are now, whereas the memories that you have with your friends from high school or childhood is who you were then?
I think the thing is behind all of that, really, you have your friend group back home. You've made memories with them. You have your own kind of, personality with them and everything. Yeah, it's great and everything. And then with y'all, for instance, it's just crazy how we got so close together in such a short amount of time. It's because, we were together at college, and we had only known each other I'd only known y'all for maybe a year. And then I started hanging out with y'all, and then personalities just clicked together like that. It was just a snap of a finger. And, just the fact that I'd only known y'all for a year, maybe possibly not even that long, just the fact that I'd only known y'all for a year, it led to one of the greatest relationships ever, just because y'all kind of brought me in. And, like you said, we have our friends back home, and then we have our friends at college, but I feel like, each friend group you have has its own meaning, per se, but the meaning behind each one is the memories you made with them.
Yeah.
And I think that has a lot to do with it. It's just for the Banff trip, for instance, that memory that we made, that's unforgettable. And the fact that we made that memory, we always refer back to it. And I always refer back to it when I see y'all, just because that's one of the greatest memories we ever made together. And that's kind of what kind of brought our friendship together for me personally. And whenever I look back at it, I'm like, yeah, that's probably why they're my best friends, just because of that trip.
Trying to make some grown men cry
That's
right
deep.
now.
That's real deep.
Well, I just took everything you said, and I don't know why the same memory keeps circulating in my head. And it was junior year, end of the year. It's room draw day.
Oh God.
And well, no, you say that because it's true. That was true emotion because that's one of the most stressful days of the college year.
Yeah.
It's where
sure.
you want the best of the best room, or what you want, and I feel like only 90%, I feel like 90% of people don't get what they want.
Yeah.
I never actually did a room draw.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Freshman year.
well, it's because
Freshman year, Sharky had to do it for me. Sophomore year and junior year, Randy did it just because he was RA. RA.
Yeah, that's right, and he got picked. Senior year, you weren't due. We were
Senior year, you did it.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of random,
so I never had to put any effort into doing that.
Tristan Westfall just calling.
Oh,
speaking of random,
right about all the time.
Don't worry, he'll call me about 15 seconds.
But what were you getting at? Room draw, right?
Oh yeah. So room draw. This was spring 2017, junior year, Will's freshman year. And I know you and I just wanted a townhouse so bad, but we also wanted to just have like we didn't care who we were rooming with. We even wanted guys that we didn't really know. Just we wanted to have like the house of the house.
And it just started up.
Which-
Like, they were brand new. Like, this would be the first semester
Yeah.
that anyone had been in the townhouses.
Exactly.
On the campus
And
in
we,
general.
I think we definitely didn't get to pick one of the first, but like one of the first waves probably, because there's so many.
Because our boy Caleb Peters, shout out to him for that
Yes.
rim draw number. Definitely helped us out a lot.
And the chap dropped out,
Unfortunately.
which is wild. Yes, and shout out Caleb Peters, thanks mate. So it was supposed to be what us.
He was the
two-
first one that got there too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He got there first.
I was like 5 minutes late.
He got all this stuff set up.
That's man, I forgot about
It's
that part.
heartbreaking.
Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, because the poor kid dropped out. He even moved in and everything. All right, anyways, so
Anyways, go ahead.
Caleb gets there, thinks it was a lucky room draw number. And it was going to be us two, Caleb Peters, Dallas, and we were looking for two more. But Dallas-
None of which worked out.
Exactly. Exactly, because Dallas claimed he was coming back, so that didn't work. So then we basically needed three. So it was like you, me, Caleb, and Caleb was like, I don't care who I'm roommate with. I just want to live in the townhouse. We're like, all right, that's cool. So us three banded together. We looked for three more, and it was you, Josh, and Alston.
Yeah. God rest their souls.
They're not dead. They're just gone.
Yeah, they're God.
Uh,
Never forgotten.
I think I actually still have a snap streak with Alston. I don't think we've
You have
For
a,
real?
You still hold snap streaks?
Oh my gosh. That's a thing? I'm just kidding. I have a streak with Cody. I can't say
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
That works. It's still correlated with Cody.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
It's like God, I feel so
Wait.
bad for him.
More than anything else, Cody, how many snap streaks do you have right now?
Uh-oh. He's got to count. Listen to him.
No, I legitimately don't know. Maybe 10. I don't know.
You're such a good friend.
Well, it's like all
You
my
don't have a
close
snap
friends.
streak with me.
Dude, you don't answer freaking snaps back. You always
Okay.
send them first and never answer.
You were the
them.
reason we lost our streak every single time.
Exactly.
I'm going to go ahead and
Dude,
throw that out
dude,
there.
the one-
You are the reason why.
The one that we had. All right, we're getting off topic here.
We literally just came from explaining how like social media doesn't actually make you real friends, and now we're like getting angry about our sins
Thank you.
against
Thank
each
you.
other
Thank
for
you.
our.
Yeah, that's
snap
why I don't
streaks.
hold on
That's
to
not
them.
the point, Shane.
Listen, I have a vendetta to solve here.
All right, anyways,
Okay, we're-
Cody.
Yeah.
So, but like that story was the whole premise of my story. God, we're so off topic. And while you were talking there,
You
it
still
just-
have a streak with Austin.
It all, but no, not that. It's just like how everything that Will just spewed from his heart all started from. We needed three roommates. Didn't care who, but we did want it to at least be people we trusted, knew, like teammates, something. And Will was like one of the ones that just wanted it so bad because I'm sure I don't remember who you were with before, but you just wanted.
It was
something
Austin, yeah.
different. That's right. So. Like I mean, at that point, we're just like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's have a rocking house.
Well, heck, y'all randomly just text me one day. You're like, hey, dude, what you doing, like, living-wise? I was like, I honestly don't know. And, you're
Come
just
over
like...
our townhouse.
I was
hurry,
like,
get
all
over
right,
here."
done. Yep, I'm coming.
Bring your
It was
slip.
literally the day of room draw.
Yeah. But, like, I'll never forget that because, like, I didn't know what senior year had in store. I knew it was going to be good. And, like, it was kind of cool knowing we're going to go into this living with three guys that we didn't really fully know. Like, freshman year, yeah, but not, like, in-depth know.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. It was... That story goes back in my mind because I remember just, like, younger us, just, like, at that stressful room draw, it working out. Summer goes by. Caleb's the first one there for AT/football. And then he unfortunately has to drop out, because he passed that, or failed that like AT test or whatever. And then we show up for soccer.
Hashtag rigged.
Yeah.
That's what they get for the AT
Got you,
program not
Caleb.
being there anymore.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's not...
That's a deep
Yeah.
blow.
I'm kidding. Well, I'm still kidding.
You
but
are
it's-
kidding.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm very.
Yeah,
It's a very sensitive subject, okay?
It is.
It touched a lot of our hearts.
It did.
Okay,
Beth,
go on.
R.I.P. She's not dead either, but she's just gone.
She's one of my professors
She's
right
still
now.
there, right?
Yeah, she's one of my
Oh, wait, no.
professors.
I want to talk to you about that in a second.
Okay,
please.
go ahead.
So it's just, and the thing was just us moving in. It was like, dang, we're all like together. It's there's at least 5 out of 6 of us here. And then Matt came in and eventually moved in like 2 weeks in, which was kind of weird.
God
but whatever.
almighty.
I
Don't even
love-
get me started on that.
I
No,
love-
We won't say
could've-
any stories about that.
I love how, like, where we started with, like, you, me, Dallas, Caleb. And was it Will and Austin? Like, was that already confirmed, or
No, it was me and Caleb.
you and Caleb?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
Austin,
Yeah.
Josh, me, and Caleb. And then
That's right.
And then Caleb informed us, and I was like, well, dang, I got a room to myself.
Yeah.
But then, they threatened to say that if I don't get a roommate, then they're going to pick me one. So
Yeah. So then we picked up Matt,
Yeah.
who was a freshman at the time.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, I just love thinking back on how the course of that year kind of worked its way through. But it did work its way through.
Oh, it definitely worked itself out.
It worked its way through for the better.
God
at the end.
forbid
We
it
have,
worked
like,
itself
8
out.
roommates that
We
year.
really did.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Lacey, if you're listening, we're not sorry. So because it was all right. You and I stayed roommates the
We
whole
made
year.
good
of
friends
course.
with. We became good friends with Lacey.
Lacey got us through that year,
Yeah.
if you think about it.
Yes.
Thank you.
We went
But-
through so much crap that that year.
What was Lacey's?
Southwick.
No. What's her title?
She was like residential advisor.
Residential hall supervisor or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came in clutch.
But yeah.
The
But
dog.
we were.
Other
We could have a whole
stuff.
podcast
I
on
wouldn't-
that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't-
we won't get into that
I
right
wouldn't
now.
change any of it though.
No.
It all worked out. Just the way that the second half of that year worked out for us.
Yeah.
It was just so perfect,
But it's like Cody was saying, it's crazy how, just one little text message saying, hey, what's your plans for next semester living wise, ended up being this right here.
Mhm.
Like, just best friends forever, no matter what. Like,
this is wild.
yeah. It's crazy to just look back on that and be like, wow, it went from just a text message to...
And we can't forget, Jeffy ended up coming in with us towards the end.
Yes, he did, yeah. He ended up living with me. That was crazy too. He had his own.
We had, like-
He had his own apartment. He's like, bro, can I just live with you? I was like, if anything, I should be asking, can I live with you?
He just wanted to be on campus
trade?
with us.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
We had so many roommates.
That just goes to show how close we were,
Dude,
though.
so many people even just stayed over. Even on
Yeah.
Austin and Josh and Matt or whoever's roommate was at the time. They had three. Eric would sleep over all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember sleeping on y'all's futon. I don't know how many times, just because I was so
Yes.
tired. I just fell asleep up there. We were watching movies or just talking or whatever.
There was that one time Jeffy went through a rough phase, and he slept with us for 2 weeks.
Well, that's what initiated him moving in
yeah.
with us.
Yeah, because he came over for 2 weeks. He was going through a rough time, and he just liked being on campus with his friends.
Right.
Whenever.
And I don't blame him. I mean, he was
100%.
in an apartment by himself, and I mean, it was 20 minutes away from campus.
Jeez.
So if he needed us, it'd take time, for us to meet up or whatever.
He was jumping ahead into adulthood, and now that I'm living it, I wish we could all be right next to each other again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
You can.
True.
We kind of touched. I mean, yeah, I know it's a long shot, but we all we kind of touched on that earlier. How I don't remember what it was. Will made a comment about not being sure or whatever. How we can do anything if we really want to. And gosh, that is if I could choose one thing that we could change in everybody's minds and hearts, it would be that you don't have to have everything figured out if you want to go do something. You don't have to. Having a plan. The plan you start with is not the plan you're going to finish with. I guarantee you. When you actually have something work. Or anything.
Especially right after you graduate. You're like, yeah, I want to do this. Oh,
Right.
yeah. Especially right after you graduate. You're like, yeah, I got this planned out. I'm definitely going to do it. No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, this is America, the land of the free. I mean, if you want to do something, you literally have the best opportunity, rather than anywhere else in the world, to go and do it.
Yep.
But because we have so much at stake and, we care so much about security, it's like we feel like we have to have all of our ducks in a row and have all the details covered before we make the risk. But it's like, look at who the happiest people are. The people who take the biggest risks because they
That's
care
true,
about
yeah.
something enough,
Mhm.
They don't care about the stakes because they care about that thing more than they care about what they're going to lose.
It's all about getting out of your comfort zone.
Seriously.
That's all. I mean,
Life.
that's all it is.
Life.
Just getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, totally, man. Super important. Just always to challenge yourself and always kind of push yourself because you never know how unhappy you'll be sitting in the same place until you've done it long enough to hate it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you crave, change and challenge and to be uncomfortable because you know that on the other side of discomfort is happiness
Mm-hmm.
and a great load of comfort.
I think every time Shane's done talking, we should all just be quiet for a couple minutes.
Just let it sink in.
Just to let that sink in.
It's so deep, man. I don't know how to respond to it. I'm just like, I mean, wow.
No, you need to think about it for a little bit.
You have to. You just got to comprehend
Like, you
it.
have to go back and think about it. I think we need to have Shane on for every podcast we do just to like go off like every once in a while.
Stimulate
just, like,
the
Like,
intellect.
we'll just have him sitting in a corner and just have him listen for like most of it and just bring him in every once in a while. And he goes, I have something to say. And he'll come in and he'll just go on like a 3-minute rant about like everything that we've talked about and put it all into like one philosophical like bubble.
That's what it is. It's
And then,
just so
like-
philosophical.
Yeah,
It's just
and then-
like, I mean, what do you want me to say to that, man? What do you want me to say?
Will Shane goes on all that and Will goes, yeah, man, same.
Yeah. Like, I couldn't agree more, you know?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
I was literally about to say, you know? It's not,
you said it a little dumber than I was about
yeah,
to.
I mean, it's all right. It's all right.
Will,
Do you want to do this on the air or not?
I do.
Okay.
So like, okay, if we're talking about the same thing. If
Yes,
you're-
AT.
Yeah. So like, what's going on with the AT program? Okay, so AT program at Emory, I think we all can say like, it's a really good program.
Yeah.
Like it
Attracts
really,
a lot
really,
of
it-
attention.
it's a really good program. Like it does a lot of good for the campus, all that
unique.
kind of stuff. What's going on with it?
You know,
Like-
to be honest, I don't know the full story, like, behind everything, but it just, I guess not enough students were committing to it. Like, you know, they were doing their clinical hours and everything, and I guess they were just like, this isn't for me. And I guess they just weren't fully committed to it. I don't know.
Like their numbers were dropping. Cause like when we were there, it was like it
I
felt like
mean-
they were at capacity for the number of
Yeah.
people that they could have. at
Oh,
one
don't get me
time.
wrong. Like,
That's what it is, competitive.
in my
Yeah.
earlier years, and like your senior year, they were booming.
It's
Like,
extremely
I
competitive.
mean, it became like a master's program or whatever. Yeah. Well, now there's no master's program, or I can't remember what
They
the
cut
correct-
the whole thing.
Yeah, they cut the whole thing. Yeah, like it's all gone. Like, I think it's kind of like back to what I was saying. You know, a lot of students were, you know, going in college. You say you want to do this, but you know, it changes 20,000 times throughout your whole 4-year career in college. Like, you don't know exactly or 100% what you want to do. And I think that's what happened to a lot of them. Like, they got into it, they were doing their clinical hours, and they were just like, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. And I know a lot of them are going back to the exercise science program or the health and human performance program. I mean, I'm doing that. I'm majoring in health and human performance and minoring in exercise science. I mean, they're both great programs. But I think just looking back on what we're talking about, it was just the commitment perspective of it. Yeah, most definitely.
Gotcha. So like, is it canceling after this year? Like this is the last class, or did it cancel immediately?
I think it's canceled for good.
Effective immediately.
They've already let go certain. I'm not going to mention any names.
That's
they've
one
already,
of the things I wanted to ask you.
they've
is
already
if-
let go. I think 2 or 3 professors, not only in the AT program, but other programs on campus as well. There's other programs that are being conflicted with.
We can talk about that off air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
'Cause
there's
that's what I was wondering, if they were like just canceling like the student program and like keeping the professors, or were they like limiting that? Because like they have to keep a handful at least
unfortunately
for the sports, right?
unfortunately there's professors right now. This is their last semester, and I guess it's over now because stupid coronavirus. So yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, this is their last. A lot of them, this was their last semester right here.
What time are we at?
Hour and 8 minutes, give or take.
Good time.
I honestly thought it was longer.
I did too.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Well, I mean, Shane went on to like 4 or 5 philosophical
Yeah.
ideas, and like every time you talk, it's just like 10 hours in my mind.
10 hours worth of value.
Apparently,
I
it's like
guess.
4 days
That's
in
great.
his.
It's more like months of observation and pondering.
That honestly kind of is what like philosophy is. Philosophy can be a 4-minute statement that took 4 months to bring together.
Philosophy
Here we
just
go.
is adapted
Oh, crap,
from
what did I
well,
do?
it's no. This is
Lay
this
it
is
on
pretty
us,
simple.
Shane.
The word philosophy is adapted rather from the Greek word philosophia, which literally means the love of wisdom. So for me,
So a guy named Phil and Sophia got together and like, let's make this
and
thing called
made the baby
philosophy.
philosophy. Yeah.
There we go. I
So-
like it.
But the long version is
That was good.
the long version is
My boy Phil.
that's you know, it's
That was
like
good.
before when I was younger, I tried, if I ever tried to sound smart, if I was ever around people who I thought were a lot smarter and I wanted to be on their level, I would just try to think of the smartest thing I could and then spew that out, and it never worked. It was always so awkward, or I just didn't feel out of place, or I never really actually got it like I thought I got it. But when you really dive into the meaning of philosophia, you know, to love wisdom, what does that look like? You know, for me, it's literally every day, whether I'm reading a philosophy book, having a philosophical conversation or not, my eyes are always open. I've got those lenses on, and whenever I see the world, I see it through those lenses, and I'm always observing, and I'm always seeing what I can learn, because I love wisdom so much. I'm trying to see where I can extract it from everything that I do, say, hear, feel. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just an absorbative sort of skill. I don't even know if that's a word, but you absorb it, you soak it up like a sponge, and then as you gather that, it just spews out of you. So yeah, this is like, a better part of a year and a half, whatever this is. I'm still just a baby intellectually, like not even close to even being able to ever call myself smart. I'm just starting to, learn what that looks like, to look through those lenses and to really dive into what wisdom actually looks like.
I feel so dumb sitting next to you right now.
Well, that's not what I wanted.
That's what it is.
I hope to inspire people because, of what I really have to give a shout out specifically to Rich, my philosophy professor, when I was in college, for inspiring me. I think I'm actually going to go back to college for philosophy, but he just really showed me the importance of critical thinking and, really why we should love philosophy, and because it's foundational. And if there was anything I want to teach, it would be philosophy, because sure, I'm good at math. I could teach math. I hate it, but I could teach it. But that would be one thing, and it would help people, but it would only help them in one arena. If you teach someone philosophy, you teach them how to think, and to think critically, and to never take things at face value, but to critically, deconstruct them and see if they're valid or sound ideas. You're teaching them a foundational skill that applies to everything. So by teaching them one thing, it's a compound effect, and you're teaching them how to do everything. So, I mean, that's just such a powerful, what else would you want to know how to do, in my opinion? I'm a strong advocate for the thing, but it's so valuable, man.
And that's the silence we need.
Yeah, that's exactly
That's it. Like this video or like this podcast, and comment down below if you want Shane to have like his own little podcast on our channel,
On
or
philosophy.
or
Or his
like
own
have
channel.
like a monthly
Right.
a monthly podcast with Shane where we just talk about like the philosophical idea of the day.
We're going to call it Philosophy for Dummies.
Right.
That's what it's going to be.
Emphasis on the dummies.
From a dummy.
We're gonna call it Phyllis and what was the other?
Phil and
Phyllis and
Sophia.
Yeah, Phyllis. Oh no, Phil.
Phil and
Phyllis.
Sophia.
Phyllis
yeah.
and Sophia.
Phyllis.
Phil and Sophia with Shane.
That'd be pretty fun, actually.
I dig it.
But another good podcast.
Yep, absolutely.
Will,
Thank you very
Shane.
much, Will, for making the drive down.
I appreciate it, guys. It's been one heck of a night. I really appreciate y'all having me here.
Thank you, Shane, for getting out of bed and coming over here.
Yep.
All right, time to go back home. 6 feet. I'll see you soon.
Just so the joke lands, his bed is literally within arm's range.
Behind the camera, basically.
Yeah. I don't. Oh,
Got a
camera's
long
probably
walk
dead, right?
home.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all right.
Dang.
All right. All right.
Well, episode 16, out.
Bye.
Peace.
Hey, you on the viral.